Worlds Collide, a BL story by Adrenaline. Act 1, Part 3, Brandon. 12:47 a.m. Brandon Wong has 13 minutes. His passenger, a middle-aged man in a loosened suit, spills out onto the pavement before the car has fully stopped, with the careful exaggeration of someone trying very hard to appear sober. Brandon is already out, already around the car, steadying the man by the elbow without being asked. He mutters something in Mandarin. Gratitude or complaint? Hard to tell. Brandon gives a short, practiced bow and watches just long enough to confirm he makes the door. Then he's already moving, crossing the street toward a second car idling at the corner, gets in, drops the keys on the seat. The other driver pulls away, without a word exchanged. The clock on the dashboard reads 12:51 a.m. Brandon Wong has 8 minutes. Bravo Oasis Bar is the kind of place that sells the feeling of being chosen. The main floor glitters, crystal glasses, the slow movement of people who have nowhere else to be and money to prove it. Brandon moves through it like he's part of the architecture. Dark clothing, unhurried, tray in hand, he knows every corner of this place without looking. Brandon pushes through to the back of the bar and takes the stairs up to the private rooms. At the top, a set of heavy curtains, the kind that exists specifically to keep what's happening on the other side from reaching anyone who wasn't invited. He pulls them aside and steps through. The rooms are close and dim, each one sealed behind its own curtain. Inside, low tables, bottles of things that cost more than Brandon makes in a week, men in expensive shirts leaning back with the ease of people who own everything in their eyeline, women beside them, against them, dressed to be looked at, aware of it, performing it. Brandon enters the first room to collect glasses. Efficient, eyes down. One of the women, early 20s, sequined, something pink in her glass, catches his eye and gives him a small smile. Not flirtatious, familiar. Brandon gives the smallest nod back. Keeps moving. The next room, same story. A woman near the door touches his arm lightly as he reaches past her for a glass. He doesn't pull away. He simply isn't there, already counting glasses, already thinking about the next thing. He's not ignoring them. He simply has no bandwidth for being seen tonight. Johnny is behind the bar, shaking something with the theatrical commitment of a man who considers bartending a performing art. He spots Brandon and leans across the counter without breaking his pour.
Okay, you didn't hear this from me.
I never hear anything from you.
There's a film shooting nearby. Big production, international cast. Word is some of them may stop by this weekend.
Good for them. I'm headed to private room 4.
Completely wasted on him.
Brandon walks through Wanhua at 3 a.m., a different city than the one he just left. No glitter here, no bottles that cost more than a week's wages. Narrow streets, old buildings pressed close together, laundry lines overhead, a flickering light above a doorway. His body carries the specific exhaustion of someone who has been useful to everyone else for 8 hours straight and is only now being allowed to stop. He rounds the corner onto his street, and the Mindong tenement comes into view, the building he has lived in his entire life. 4 floors of worn concrete and other people's cooking smells pressing up against the sky. He knows every crack in this pavement, takes the stairs, and somewhere around the second landing his footsteps go quiet. A habit so old he doesn't notice it anymore. His body knows how to come home without disturbing anything. Brandon's apartment is small and worn in the way of places that have housed a lot of living. In the corner of the main room, a hospital bed. Grandma asleep in it, small, beneath her blanket, her breathing shallow but steady. Mrs. Wong is on the couch, still in her work clothes, asleep over a folded blanket she didn't quite get around to opening. The television is on and muted, throwing pale light across her face. Brandon stands in the doorway a moment, takes it in. He crosses to the couch, drapes the blanket over his mother properly, pauses, looks at her face. Something moves across his expression, quiet, unreadable. The look of someone who has been doing this long enough that the love and the weight of it have become the same thing. Then he turns toward the hallway at the back. The room is small. The bed barely fits. But the walls are covered. Drawings everywhere. Pinned, taped, layered. No system, no gallery logic. Just accumulation. Some are delicate and precise. Architectural shapes, impossible structures, figures caught mid-motion. Some burst with color, almost violent in their brightness against the dim room. Some are darker, fractured forms, heavy lines, something that needed to get out and finally did. It's the most alive room in the apartment, the most alive room in Brandon's entire life. He sits on the edge of the bed, reaches under it, pulls out the sketchbook, opens to a blank page, and starts to draw. Just his hand moving, steady, certain, nothing like the careful, invisible man from the bar, or the street, or the stairwell. This is the only place. He doesn't disappear.